So my current environment for learning and studying for classes is not where I'm sitting right now. It's in my living room, where we have a big sofa where I can get really comfortable. And because my classes are not, I'm not engaging with people online, I'm doing it completely on my own. I can get really comfortable on the sofa and read and type and write my papers, and it's a completely separate space than when I do work remotely.
So we're currently in my study learning environment, and there's a few things that I actually really like about this space. So I am sitting on a couch, but it allows me to be comfortable, and the background also is neutral. So if I do have to go on camera at any point for my classes, I like that there's some level of privacy, but I can still, be as comfortable as possible while in my home.
In terms of having anxiety about my background appearance on Zoom, it's not really applicable because my classes are asynchronous. So there's no like live engagement. However, when I've worked remotely, I can definitely have a lot of anxiety about what's happening in the background.
So one of the reasons I actually like this space is because the background is neutral. You can't see anything behind me. It's really just a clear blank canvas. And I've heard many stories about other people, you know, accidentally showing too much on Zoom or something like that. So I really try to, as much as possible, to make sure that I am in a space where nothing is behind me to reduce some of this anxiety. So this is one of the things I really dislike about virtual learning. I think, people are coming into your homes in a way that we never thought would happen before.
If I can make one recommendation about setting up your learning environments in this remote time, it would be to not be afraid to make changes to that learning environment if you need to. In the beginning of all of this, I was reading all of these articles and hearing recommendations from people about how important it was to have like your desk or your space set up and closing your laptop at the end of the day and closing your notebooks and having everything like in the space like organized. And so I really tried hard to do that, but what I noticed was that it wasn't really working out for me. And it was creating like unnecessary anxiety for me to try to keep the space a certain way. And so I realized that it's okay to not follow like all of those articles and what people say and to make a change to the way that I'm engaging with my remote classes that works for me. So don't be afraid to make changes or just make a change in general to the way that you're doing your online learning.
So one recommendation I would make to students who are participating in synchronous courses is to be comfortable participating. Personally, I feel like my participation declined when due to the transition to synchronous classes because I was more hesitant to participate in the chat because I wasn't sure. I want to be thoughtful about my comment, but I also didn't want to wait too long till my point was no longer relevant. So my advice would be to not worry about that as much. And, you know, this is how you learn. So go forward and be comfortable participating, especially in the chats or even go on mic.